Okay, this is beta 0.4.8, and I want to leave the music alone for a moment because it's beautiful. The brand new opening. The only time you get to see this whole bit is when you start the game brand new. It's quite lovely. I do like that there's no text anymore. A little reminiscent of Journey. Just images. This is, seventh or eighth version of this opening sequence. Maybe more than that. It's been refigured a number of times in the last year and a few months. Okay, now we go to our beginning. That music is gorgeous. It's brand new. That's new in this version, or the April version. This is May 4th. So this new version has been out about a month. This opening sequence to Isle is actually new in the last few weeks, I think, because I've restarted once before, and that's the first time I've seen it. A lot of music has been added. It's really quite lovely. Music has been pretty sparse in the game so far, so it's nice to hear the additions they finally made. So this again, all of this is again updated in this April version, which was 0.4.6 to begin with. Now we're on 0.4.8. This has been here, the little images. And this is very, very reminiscent of Journey. For the better or for worse, that it is reminiscent of Journey. I like the more limited, non-verbal story, because anything you say can just sound stilted. I kind of like it being left. It's what made Journey so beautiful, I think, was that it was left to your imagination what the story was, and I think it works, as long as it all makes some sense in the end. These are star shrines. So you're born without a cape, and here you get your cape, and of course this has changed a number of times as well. So you get your cape here now, and your one wedge, which is not a full wedge yet, but 1 star's worth of cape power, which is not much, but it's a start. Press and hold anywhere. There's your tutorial for how to fly, to take off anyway. As always, butterflies scattered around help recharge you. The number of changes. You collect stars now to increase your flight power. You collect emotes to open constellation gates. There's been some question whether you need stars or emotes to open constellation gates. It's been assumed it was stars, since all of us old-time beta testers who have all the emotes. Still had to collect something. But it is emotes. It is indeed emotes to open constellation gates everywhere. So I'll point out what a constellation gate is when it comes up first. So I had to mess around here a little bit because I wanted to test that to see exactly what it was. So there's a little bit of back and forth here that was unnecessary. And I will try to cut out what I can. You tap or flick forward and you will run ahead. Hold forward and you will run ahead. Flick forward, you will jump ahead. You're pretty much stuck to the ground right now because you do not have a lot of flight. And here's our first constellation gate. It says 0 of 1. 0 of 1 what? So we've already collected 1 star, so it probably isn't a star. But it says come back after more stars are restored. So there was a bug, or something that needs to be changed, fixed. But it's not stars, it's emotes. As you will see, here's our first emote. These have moved from aviary up. So what I wanted to see, I needed to reset that. So I went home, and I need to show home first and then going back. So we're going to have a little bit of duplication here of where I went. So we're going to do this again. This is where it put me back. So part of this was trying to do a walkthrough, and part of this was actually trying to test something. So apologize for that. To solve that conundrum right there with whether we need to collect emotes or stars to open constellation gates. But clearly it's emotes. It became very clear here. It's emotes. The confusion was that, we had all the emotes when this all was introduced, and those things were still closed to us. So what did we need to do? And maybe all we needed to do was visit. And I'm not really sure everything was working quite right when this version was first launched. I think it came out around right about a month ago. Along with the new season of Gratitude. I'm going to avoid any Gratitude stuff in this playthrough because it's going to go away and be pointless. So we're going to go back down and where we just were and collect our emote, I think. Yeah, because I decided it has to be emotes. So here we are. And these are all new animations, new things, emote sequences to go through and touch. You can see the flame icon comes up, and you just tap it for your flame. Like I said, all of these emotes were in aviary, but they took away aviary, and I think I see where they're going to put it back, but we'll see if that happens. They've said that they intend to bring it back at some point. Aviary was a little hub separate from home space. So as you can see, when I get this emote, I love the sequences. They're awesome. When I get this emote, that gate's going to go away. You'll see it vanish. The emote light goes up to where you will eventually finish. And you can see star halos as well, or the sundog around stars. So you see now the constellation gate goes away, or that barrier goes away. The gate is still there. So there's, and you can see they're still not gray in the emote menu, the ones that are here to collect. That likely will be updated at some point. Now I wonder if any of them were gray. Maybe they took that away altogether. I'll have to look. So our next emote is back behind the platform. These are all just cute animations. For a little while they were, you had to carry light, and it was a little tedious. These are really nice. I really like them. And it's pretty easy for somebody to help you. A player who has not collected the emote has to start the sequence because another player can't see it to start that burning part. But after that, it does appear gray. This light thing appears gray, so you can at least see it. So other people can help you. It's probably a little easier here because you don't have to, you can hold hands for one. And you don't have to carry something and all that and stay so close to it. And it was difficult. And it could be really difficult with other people. So these are nice because you're a little freer and you can just go at your own pace rather than have to wait for other people or keep up with other people. Both of which some people have trouble with, keeping up and with waiting, holding back. I'm gonna run over here and finish him. Another thing that was true and is no longer even in this set of updates is you will have access to the maps, it looks like, immediately. Maybe not, I didn't try. I should try that. So I'm recording the voiceover later after I've played. So I can't try it as we are here. So now I'm going to go after a star. And I'm thinking about which stars I can get. And I don't think I can get the one on the tunnel. So I'm not going to go for that one. I think I don't have enough flight to get there. Or to help me get there. I probably could. I didn't mess with it though. I am going to run over to this cave. Like this thing again. So I went home and came back. Everything reset. There's the cave over there. And that island over to on the left top corner also has a star. And the stars are what you collect to increase your cape power. And you'll see the cape upgrades happen as I collect stars. And this is one of one, so I've collected an emote, therefore I can get in here. And the constellation tells you what level it's in. And you'll have seen in the opening sequence, it shows you the constellations. The constellation for every level. Isle being this constellation here. Prairie has a jar-shaped constellation. And you'll see it up above that you need stuff from Prairie. And that's what the constellation gates are for now, is it limits you from being able to go to certain places. So you can't go everywhere right away. You can't collect everything on a first run because you can't get everywhere. Obviously, if you have somebody helping you, if you have a companion, then and they can get in, they can get you in. So you can get around it that way. But for the most part, when you're on your own, there are some places you just simply can't go yet. Both because of flight power and because of these gates. I don't think the gates, when I first saw them, I didn't like them, but I don't know that as a new player I would mind them. It would be, oh, I have to come back here. So I don't think they're actually that bad. There were certain other gates that were atrocious, so I think we just lumped them all. You kind of lumped them all together, but I actually don't mind. I don't really mind these ones. It's something to strive for. It makes it a game, and it being a game is kind of the point. I think one of my complaints about the game was there was nothing to play. You know, once you completed everything, there was it had lost its replay value. So here it's kind of encouraging you, at least in the beginning, to keep going back and find new things because you can't go everywhere on the first time. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Everyone's looking for something different in the game. You know, TGC is trying so hard to please everybody, which is just not going to happen. But anyway, so our other emote is down here, but as you will see, it is not accessible to me right now. You can see the big imaging on that thing, which means it's locked. I can't get in. 0 of 2, and that is the Prairie constellation. So I can't get in there. I have to go to Prairie first, which is kind of cool because now I move on and I have a reason to come back. Which I'll have a reason to come back anyway because that's part of the game. Here's another star. Replay is built in to the game. So here's a cape upgrade. You can only progress so far before you kind of have to finish and then start over. It's almost like a new game plus kind of thing. You have a little more, or you get rewards and then can earn new things after in a replay. So there is replay built in, replay value built in. Unlike in Journey, where you pretty much you play the same game over and over again. You know, you start with nothing, you increase your scarf in exactly the same way. 13, not 13. You know, you have so many symbols you can collect and all that. Here, you're collecting the same things, but it's increasing with every replay rather than it being exactly the same with every replay. So here's our other, I didn't point it out, but that was a tunnel, cloud tunnel to get the other star. And of course I have a star video already, and I'm going to show you just a different way because all the clouds recharge you. And if you fly along the clouds, you can just fly. So I actually, this star thing and everything, the Cape Power used to be dependent on replay. Again, it was dependent on replay, but it was dependent on emotes. And I guess I'm one of them who complained that I didn't like to lose my emotes. You know, you work so hard to get them, I didn't like to lose them. To me, it seemed like they had a good balance with the wing stamps. And emote stamps, but they've decided to just scrap you losing any emotes. So now you collect emotes and stars. Stars are linked to your Cape Power. Emotes are just emotes, and you buy the upgrades in the emote maps. So now we have these little green lights that wait for you at the end, and those are what you return to the elders. Initially, you couldn't open the emote maps until you actually played this last sequence, this last cutscene. But now it seems like you can access them without visiting the cutscene. So whether that was a bug or they just changed their minds, I'm not sure, but it's changed. Which is probably good because it's confusing. I understood it, but a lot of people didn't. And, you know, it's one of those things that just, okay. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Somebody else said finish the level, and then it's like, oh, I get it, and it makes sense. Because when you've played a lot, you know, it's when you're a first timer, you're going to sit through the cutscenes. You have to. When you've played 150 times or more, you no longer sit through the cutscenes because you don't have to. So you don't even think about needing to. And the only reason we needed to is for the gratitude emotes. The season emotes. Because obviously we already have all the emotes. Those of us who've been playing a while. So things are a little confusing for some of us old players. Just because Another thing about older players, veterans, will not be able to see the emotes. They won't necessarily know where the emotes start because it's all moved. You know, the emote, well, the end emote is here, but it starts 300 yards away. Well, I know where the end emote is because that's where the guy is standing for me, but I don't know where it begins. So that can be a problem for veterans. I will try to point that out in another emote that we see, where me as the veteran is going to see it up here, but you as the new player see that it starts down below. So I won't necessarily know that, because where I see it isn't where you need to start. So veterans are a little bit challenged right now to help brand new players on anything. Can kind of show you the general area of something, but you kind of have to find it. Now this is where you used to get your cape, so they still have this animation here. That's kind of an oops. This used to be boats. He called boats, and you took a boat, but now you get to fly this section, and they've actually added this back in, which pretty much everyone is thrilled with. See, they had constellation gates here too, blocking you. You had to go home after this, and that was just an initial. They were still finishing up with these other areas, but they've added a lot between levels, and of course, a lot of us bemoaned the end of certain things, and so seeing some of this again is nice, but at the same time, they've got to do something with it because it's kind of empty. So here we go. You're going to fly off. And here you get a little bit of flying lessons. I think it's here. Actually, it might not be here. It might be in the next area. And the view of the mountain. This is a very long sequence for what it is. Just flying. But it's really your only opportunity as a new player to just fly freely. Because it's harder to fly later. Sorry, I had to take screenshots. That's what the flashing is. The flashing earlier was actually lightning, but this is taking screenshots. You can see the birds and the clouds both charge you. Keep you with cape power. Flight is a little wonky right now. I'm hoping they tune it a bit. Most of us are hoping they tune it a bit. Some people are hoping they tune it a lot. I just think it needs to be finely tuned. Certain little things seem buggy about it. But I don't mind some of the changes at all. But I do like this flight just because it's lots of clouds. And then this area is where the boats used to come and dock, although it's a little different, but basically where the boats used to come and dock. And so this they've added back in. At one point you were going directly to Aviary from there. Now you're coming here. Now actually you're going directly to Prairie again, which was how it was in the initial. It's like we've gone back in time a year. Over a year, because Aviary was introduced a year ago. But see, this is very empty, so I'm hoping they put some stuff here of some sort, emotes or something. Make this the new Aviary. I don't know, something.